The 2025 Hyundai Tucson gets a fairly significant refresh. Not only am I going to tell you all about it, it's John Voelcker, car and driver contributor. Always a good time. The old chestnuts, the only thing constant in life is change, applies doubly to the automotive industry. The fourth generation Hyundai Tucson hit the market in 2021, and it's already up for a freshening.
We're always looking for how to improve our products, right? This is obviously a mid-cycle refresh. But of course, being a mid-cycle refresh, we're always looking how can we make a great product or even better, right?
I'm at the press event near, where else? Santa Barbara, California, for the launch of the 2025 Tucson. The Beak gets a more rugged look, but keeps its distinctive DRL motif. The interior and tech get the biggest changes. Tucson is important to Hyundai because this vehicle competes in the automotive industry's most competitive segment, up against Toyota RAV4, Honda CRV, Chevy Equinox, which is all new for 2025, Nissan Rogue, Subaru Forester, Kia Sportage, Volkswagen Tiguan. Really, every manufacturer has a horse in this race. The RAV outsells Tucson 2-1 for now, but check back in a few years. The relentless South Korean brand has become the world's third largest automaker by keeping things fresh. The redone face isn't radically different, with a stronger, chunkier vibe. Casual observers will be oblivious. Things are quite different here. The Hyundai crew wanted a more usable and airy cabin. Mission accomplished.
I think they did a really good job with the design of the IP and the center console to provide a much more open feel to this interior. The two monitors connected across the middle, and then the subsequent forms in the IP really make the interior feel a lot larger.
There's more usable storage, cup holders that should handle Stanley Cups, and this that's supremely handy for the co-pilot. A fingerprint sensor lets owners drive without a key. Dual 12.3-inch displays fused into a curved panoramic unit replace two separated screens. More on this space later. For now, let's talk powertrains. They include a 187 horsepower naturally aspirated 2.5-liter four-cylinder, a plug-in hybrid with 32 miles of electric range, and the version I'm driving, the standard hybrid. Its 1.6-liter turbocharged 4 and electric motor combined to make a little bit more oomph for 2025, 231 horses and 271 pound-feet of torque. My top trim all-wheel drive limited tester retails for $42,300 with shipping. The hybrid's transmission is a 6-speed. This column-mounted selector saves console space. The all-wheel drive system can be locked. There are drive modes that make a noticeable difference. Steering wheel paddles adjust regeneration drag level, including an automatic setting. In sport mode, they toggle manual shifts. There's baby mode, too. That's new.
Baby mode, for example, is the idea of trying to kind of smooth out that kind of power band as you accelerate off the line. And as you're backing up into a parking space, kind of reduce the amount of torque and power at low speeds to not make like drastic maneuvers and kind of just improve the comfort of people in the car.
The Hyundai folks have pointed us towards rural roads outside of Los Olivos, famous for growing Pinot grapes, if you're into wine. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Voelk and Voelcker show. Tom Voelk and John Voelcker. John is very smart. He works for outlets like
Car and Driver, Green Car Reports, Inside EVs, a whole variety of words and picture outlets.
So if you don't like me, listen to John. Limited models have acoustical laminated side glass up front, so it's quiet in here. John and I have an easy time talking, and overall, roominess is best in class. So you've already driven this. Let's talk about ride quality.
I think Hyundai has tuned this for average families. This is not sort of on the sporty end of it, but it has a comfortable ride, it has nice damping, and even on California roads, which can be surprisingly irregular and joggly, it's smooth, no crashing, no thumping. It's really tuned for a comfortable, pleasant, average ride, and that's probably what's really good for the bulk of people who are going to buy this one.
Yeah, and I've said this time and time again, auto writers, we love our sporty, dynamic driving, right? Mainstream buyers, not as much.
Yeah.
They just don't. And we do have that bias. I mean, sometimes I think that auto writers write for other auto writers, right?
Yeah.
2025 hybrids engage the electric motors to smooth out pitch and dive when hitting speed bumps and pavement heaves. In most modes, the steering effort is on the light side, sport firms up the weight, there's even a bit of road feel. For enthusiasts, Mazda CX-50 is the in-class athlete, but it's not available as a hybrid. All right, let's talk about performance first. We're out on the highway going 50 miles an hour, and, it's got good power. I think people think of hybrids as slugs. Not so much anymore.
And actually, Hyundai was able to get a few more horsepower out of its electric motor in this update of the Tucson.
If 0 to 60 times are your thing, the hybrid will spool up to that benchmark in just over 7 seconds. One thing I really like about Hyundai's hybrid system is that it uses a geared transmission. So when you floor it, there are gear shifts. It feels like a regular car. The hybrid is quicker than the naturally aspirated powertrain, always a plus. The $1,150 upcharge should be recovered in a couple years. The EPA fuel economy average is 35 miles per gallon. That's 4 mpg less than Champ RAV4 hybrid. Our harder driving style returned just under 30. And there's a plug-in hybrid, 32 miles of all-electric range.
Yep.
And then you can drive from Seattle to Tampa without charging up again. That's the beauty of plug-in hybrids.
Absolutely. And it's enough for most people's daily around town, completely on electricity. So especially if you have the opportunity to charge at home, bring the car home, plug it in overnight, and you have another full tank of battery, if you like.
Yep.
And a lot of people who have plug-in hybrids and use them that way actually only end up putting a tank of gas a month into the car.
I own 2 plug-in hybrids, and for my wife and I, it's more like every 3 months. But I digress. If ambiance is important, Tucson Limited's new interior is arguably best in class. Bonus, it costs less than a comparable CRV or RAV4. Materials are upmarket with interesting textures. Lexus and Genesis owners looking to pare the budget might pay attention, though I have to wonder how the shiny black plastic will age. It tends to scratch. Physical controls have replaced haptic touch surfaces. Thanks, Hyundai. The charger is 15 watts. Phone as key is improved. Devices can be kept in pocket now. Not sure about John, but the heated and vented leather seats were kind to my backside. Heated wheel, too. 2025 Tucsons get an all-new infotainment system. It has excellent flow and sensitivity, plus it allows over-the-air updates. Of course, this relies on a data service, but unlike other automakers,
It's complementary, all 3 packages, everything from some of the safety functions to all the way to the connected, mobile functions. Are complementary for the lifetime ownership of that first owner of the vehicle.
Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are wireless across the board now. Sorry, I didn't get to test the Bose system. Back here, the seats don't slide fore and aft to max out cargo room or legroom, but the carpool gang is gonna love the Tucson. Headroom is excellent. Same with knee, leg, and foot room. Cushions are high enough, so thigh support is excellent. And the door openings are big enough, so it's easy to get in and out. This being a top trim model, the outboard seats are heated. Door pockets are kind of small, but at least there are pockets on both seat backs. No separate climate zone, but there are adjustable vents and people can charge their phones. The spine running down the middle, that's about average in size. The cushions are on the firm side and the bench is wide enough so you can get 3 average-sized adults in here. They'll be good for short trips across town. As I always say, if you want them to be very, very comfortable, keep it to 2. Hopefully, your family never needs to experience airbags and crumple zones. Tucson has an IIHS Top Safety Plus rating, and it's stuffed with ADAS technology.
Even the base model having quite a lot of capabilities. So you can see here, again, some of the some of the competitors in the space, we have quite a lot of standard features. Everything from safety functions like forward collision avoidance to some of the more convenience functions like smart cruise control are 100% standard on Tucson. And then as you move up the different trims, you obviously get a little bit more option capability. One of my personal favorites is the advanced rear occupant alert, which is a radar-based system. Extremely, really, really sensitive. If you have a baby in the backseat of the car under a blanket, that system is sensitive enough to kind of notice that breath of the baby's chest moving.
I'm at an event, so of course, no TP trunk tests, but I can give you a tour of the trunk. Considering the plug-in hybrid, its battery hogs cargo space. Both the standard hybrid and ICE Tucson have a solid 39 cubic feet to fill with all the seats occupied compared to 32. The space is deep, but no need to open the back doors to drop the backs. A 40-20-40 split or pass-through would be nice. The load floor isn't completely flat, but it gets cavernous. You're looking at over 74 cubic feet. The plug-in model is rated at around 66. Compared to competitors, Tucson's styling is the extrovert of the bunch. Deep creases and details remind me of Japanese styling in the late 70s and early 80s. Smart that the signature DRLs remain, they're very distinctive. Some buyers won't like the turn indicators mounted here. Changes are subtle on the outside. Most of the Tucson's redo is inside, improving livability. All right, let's sum this up, John. It looks good. It drives really well for a mainstream crossover. Fuel economy is good. I'm trying to think of negatives.
I frankly would go immediately for the hybrid. The upcharge isn't that much over the gasoline one.
Yes.
And the performance is better because the electric motor gives you immediate punch even while the engine spools up. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It just doesn't have that thousands and thousands of dollars penalty you used to have to pay for a hybrid.
Yeah, I think it is smart to go with the hybrid. Other than lower fuel efficiency than CRV and RAV4 hybrids, the 2025 Tucson is a fierce competitor. If Hyundai can telegraph that the improvements inside add significant value, you'll see a lot more of these on the road. You just might not recognize the changes. Some housekeeping. I forgot to mention my tester is deep sea blue. Naturally aspirated 4-cylinder Tucsons are produced in Montgomery, Alabama. Both hybrid models are bolted together in South Korea. I attended a Hyundai-sponsored event to produce this review, very common in this industry, but accurate information and opinions are my highest priority. I like using sound bites from the engineers and product planners so you know what I experience.
Tucson finished last year, 2023, as the 5th best-selling compact SUV behind industry stalwarts such as RAV4, CRV, Rogue, and Chevy Equinox.
But really, I go for accuracy and skip the marketing hype. Special thanks to John Voelcker, a great guy and always insightful. Fun fact before I go, there were different vehicles that we could drive at this event, including the refreshed Santa Cruz, which is built on the same architecture as Tucson. And it makes a lot of sense that they would share the same grille, right? No, they are not the same. I was talking to one of the engineers and he said they've always been different. I've got a pretty good eye for design and that surprised me. The new one is definitely different. You can tell the difference between Tucson and Santa Cruz now. Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to the channel, click notifications, follow me on social media, and if you have a question, you can do it on social media or you can do it here, all right? All right. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelck.